Come take a look at the very first Battletome specially formulated to go along with the General's Handbook. It is the Disciples of Tzeentch, and it does not suck. Smacking bits. Alright, welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. It's Age of Sigmar time, baby. Woo! 2017 is here, and this Battletome is coming out of the gates. It's coming in hot. It is a really interesting read, and kind of seeing how Games Workshop has taken this course correction to a whole new level and really built in a lot of the mechanics from the General's Handbook. Now remember, we did see the Sylvaneth come out right around the same time as the General's Handbook, but it wasn't formulated. They didn't know it was going to work. They're like, oh, this worked. We need to work this into our plans. And it took them almost a full 6 months to get this particular book to market. But it has a lot of advantages because it comes with the points values for the models right out of the gate. So not only do you have the app with the points values if you paid for the General's Handbook on there, but now you also have them in this book as well. You also have a couple of battle plans in here for playing some custom games, but maybe more importantly is you have a specialized set of upgrades to roll on for the Path of Glory and to get followers and such like that, right? So it's all of these things that made Age of Sigmar great again this year, this summer of 2016, all kind of wrapped into its very first Battletome, and this is kind of like the prototype Battletome for, I want to say, Age of Sigmar 2.0. I don't see how you can't say that at this point. I love the cover of it. First of all, this is a $35 book. It's hardcover. It's 136 pages, which is actually less than the Sylvaneth book, surprisingly. It has a ton of rules in here. We're going to talk about that in a second. And basically, if you go by what it says right here, you've got the origins, examples of the colors, because of course they give you all the color schemes, and then that great heavy metal masterclass kind of painted section of all those things that get your hobby juices going and want you to work out those hobby muscles. All your new allegiance abilities, command abilities, traits. It's basically two mini dexes kind of split into one, because you got a lot of stuff for the demon side, you got a lot of stuff for the mortal side. So it's really, really interesting how they did this. And I love this inset leaflet where it's like a Stormcast Eternal, there's like a blue horror running up or a pink horror running up on him. He's like, smash with the hammer. Oh, splits into two. He's like, mistakes were made. And then all the brimstone, he might have killed those, and then all the brimstone warriors kind of jump him there and take him out. So I don't know. Maybe Sigmar's guys need to go back to the drawing board there and figure out what they're gonna do. So contents-wise, like I said, 136 pages. It's actually more, because nope, the rules are in here. So that is a 136 page book. I think the Sylvaneth one was, I want to say it was one in the 140s for sure. I also want to say it was $50. Somebody fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was $50. This particular one is $35, which I find extremely affordable and very well priced. Very well price pointed out. As far as contents go, we've got Tzeentch Almighty. Of course, this is the section where it explains who and what Tzeentch is, the labyrinths, the whole realm of chaos, as best they can on the Tzeentch side. And then you've got the mortal side where it kind of talks about, all the little cultist guys kind of plotting and scheming and doing their mortal stuff there. Then it gets into the Servants of Change, which is like your bestiary section where it explains more about the particular different types of units. The Armies of Unreason, I actually think, okay, so the Armies of Unreason is the section of the great looking section of painted miniatures, and then the Charge Masters or Change Masters are the section that basically gives you profile views and kind of like paint schemes and things to kind of look at. Then it gets into the Tides of Change, which is all of the special rules. So you got like 14 pages of special rules from all sorts of different things, allegiance abilities, your artifacts, your new lores. You've got your 2 battle plans, your Path to Glory rules, your warband tables, of course, and then just getting into collecting a Tzeentch army. Then it kicks over to the battalion section where you have a whole poop ton of battalions. I think it's 8 for each side. And then you've got battalions inside of battalions. There's 2 of those for each the mortal side and the demon side. Then we jump into War Scrolls, and there's like 25 of those. So there's no way we're going to even, this is a first look review, remember. So we're just going to kind of show you if this is worth spending your hobby dollars on. We're going to come back and we're going to give you all the tips and tactics to playing the new Tzeentch book or the Tzeentch faction allegiance, so to speak, in Age of Sigmar later on next week. And then the pitch battle profiles, which is again another first that gives you all of the points values for all of these. Not only just the War Scrolls, but also the War Scroll battalions, because remember those cost points too. And there he is right there, the Fate Weaver. It's going to be a few weeks till he's out, but we know he's on the way. And of course, Changeling and a lot more cool stuff. So this is the section where it starts talking about Tzeentch in general. Then more stuff on it, some icons, different things here and there. The Arcanites, where those are like the mortal kind of cultists, marks of change, all sorts of fluff and background structures. Then it gets into the Servants of Change, which is again your kind of bestiary, like, hey, who are the Heralds of Tzeentch? Hey, who are the Flamers and the Screamers? Hey, who are, you know, the Thaumaturges and the Shamans and Curselings and special characters, you know, oh my, all of these people, they're all kind of coming to the fore now. Then it gets into the painted miniature section, which is some great looking stuff. Obviously, I mean, these painted, I love the color palette, the darker, deeper purple blues with the darker, deeper purple kind of pink transition there, which goes completely against and blows the mind of just the normal Lords of Change, which are mostly like a grayish blue with this fantastic bright green kind of scheme, accented by the little fire dudes, little brimstone horrors right there. And it gets into more and more of that, showcasing all sorts of different things. The Magister is back, of course. He was that $15 clan pack that was available way back in the day. Of course, you got Curseling and the Gaunt Summoners as well. Curseling actually, I think, didn't he disappear in the end times? And then I don't think he was in the Grand Alliance Chaos, because I remember people being like, that sucks, Curseling died. But maybe he didn't. Maybe he's back. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. And then you got bird people riding discs, different types of bird people, from the enlightened bird people to the shaman bird people, and then of course the Zangors over there. So great looking stuff. Then it gets into Forces of Tzeentch. Like I said, all sorts of special rules in here. It's kind of bananas in and of itself. So we've got the allegiance abilities, which we talked briefly about the Destiny dice, which are a really cool mechanic here. So obviously you can roll 9 dice at the start of the game, and they've got this little tray that you can set them in inside the dice. I would pull it out and show you, but this is incredibly hard to really put back into the tray there, so we're not going to mess with that. But basically you roll 9 dice and you get 2 sets of 9 dice in this dice set. You get 9 gold ones and 9 blue ones, so you can keep them apart. Because you don't want to mix them up throughout the game. You keep them on your little tray, you know what's what. And you can substitute them out for different dice rolls right here, and it gives you the chart of that. And then command traits, depending on who your leader guy is, you've got the ability over here to get a command trait for if he's mortal, if he's a demon, or if he's a Tzeentch, or excuse me, the Aconites versus the mortals versus the demons right there. And we're not going to get into all that. You can obviously pause the video and check it out yourself, whatever you want to do. But this is going to be for a subsequent video because there's so much material in here. Of course, then you get into the artifacts of power, and not only are there artifacts of power, but there's also demonic gifts as well. And both of these go hand in hand. Normal restrictions on the whole, like, what is it, artifacts kind of ruling, like 1 per hero, and then you can take additional ones per battalion you take in game or in your army, right? So you've got these ones here. These can go to any Arcanite hero. These can go to any Tzeentch mortal hero, so from this chart and this chart. So it's a lot of mixing, a lot of matching stuff up. Over here, same deal. Tzeentch demon hero, Tzeentch demon hero up here can be given one of the power. So you got weapons and powers now. So they kind of like mirrored themselves, which I thought was pretty neat. And then it gets into the 2 lores of magic. There's 6 for each one. You got fate for the humans or the mortals, and you've got change for the demons, of course. And you can select it if you want. You can say, hey, all of my wizards have this one particular spell, or you can roll for it, kind of depending on what your local meta is or your local tournament system. You know, it just kind of varies right there. And then you've got the 2 battle plans. Boom. And then it goes into the Path to Glory campaign stuff, where it gives you all the charts for that. Then it gets into the battalion section, which I said, amazing. Like, there's 8 different battalions for both the demon side and the mortal side. And then you've got also, you got big stuff for Lord of Changes. Then you've got battalions inside of battalions. We're going to break all of this stuff down in our tips and tactics video, of course. But it's not anything different that we didn't see with Sylvaneth or Beast Claws. This is pretty much kind of standard fare as of late from the design studio. And then again, same thing for the mortal guys. You've got battalions within battalions, and then 8 individual battalions, which consist of individual units. So you kind of see where that's going there. And then it gets into the war gear, the war scroll section rather. Lots and lots of material in here. Of course, we got Fate Weaver, we got Lord of Change, nothing we hadn't seen in the past, and I haven't compared their stats and I haven't compared their points, although I do hear that they are a little bit more in points than what they were previously. So we're going to break all that down, at least the important ones, because with 25 of them, it's going to take a lot of time to get through it all, and let's be honest, that's probably not something that you guys want to listen to for like an hour of me drone on and compare this stat line to this stat line. That's just kind of silly. But there are going to be some kind of got-yous and important things to point out for each of the new units, like the bird people on disc or the bird shamans, or, you know, perhaps maybe there's some glaring new thing in Fate Weaver. Like I said, these are first look reviews. We basically get our hot little hands on these as soon as they're released, kind of go through it, formulate a plan, and hit you up with it so you can make that decision, spend your hobby dollars on these or not. Did I forget everything? No, I did not forget anything. So tons and tons of war gear in here. And then very lastly, you've got the pitch battle profiles, which I guess you could cut this out and put it in your General's Handbook if you really wanted to, or, you know, you can download the app, or it's just handy to have in here so you don't have to have separate material, you know, everywhere all over the place, because going forward, we don't know when we're going to get another General's Handbook, and this is a whole book's worth of material to find in the General's Handbook. So they knew the Beast Claws, they knew the Sylvaneth was going to be in there or coming out, so they put it in the General's Handbook. Obviously 6 months later, we have a new baby. Hello! Or I guess it's caw. Well, here it is. It's exciting. I cannot wait to get my hands on one of these big chickens and put it together and have some fun with it and caw all over the tabletop and, bzz, 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 and all of that stuff. But it's not here. It's not time yet. When will then be now? All I know is it isn't now. But we got the book and we got some rules, and we can start thinking ahead to the rest of January into February, I guess it is. I got nothing. Questions, comments, omissions, please leave it in the question block below, and we will get to all the comments as soon as we can.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.